Today I'm going to share with you the meals that I made with a $12 budget. I'm going to share with you the recipes, the grocery haul, to hopefully inspire you to make a few healthy, inexpensive meals for your upcoming weeks ahead. I love doing these types of videos because I think it showcases how easy it is to spend very little money and eat very healthy. Here is my tiny little grocery haul. Just so you know, I will type out down in this description box my full grocery list. And just a disclaimer, I only added in the cost of part of the oats and part of the flour. But I did purchase the whole thing, but I only added in the cost of what I used for this meal prep. The first thing I'm going to share with you is the breakfast I made for this week, and what you're going to need is 1 pound of oats, 3 bananas, and a bag of frozen fruit, and I decided to do blackberries. I get the blackberries at the local 99-cent store, and I think I get them for a really good deal since I get them for 99 cents. And then I made these little muffins. It did make 24 of them. You can make them as big or as little as you want, but it's super simple. You're just going to mash your bananas, add in your fruit. I did leave my fruit sit out for a little bit so I could mash it as well. I did use about a 1/4 cup of unsweetened almond milk. You could use water if you don't want to use nut milk, just to kind of give it some moisture. And then I added in the oats, mix it up, and bake these. And I don't have a large muffin tin, so I have to bake them 6 at a time. I can't find my large muffin tin. I must have not have brought it with us when we moved across country, but these did make 24 little muffins. Like I said, you can make them as big or as small as you like. I made them regular muffin size, and they're so delicious. They're the perfect breakfast or even snack. I love to have them before or after a run. I've been making these for years, and I love that they're such simple ingredients and they're really fulfilling. You can amp this up if you want to make it sweeter by adding your favorite sweetener, maple syrup, or even switching it up and adding whatever kind of fruit you'd like. It makes them very versatile, so you can make them seasonal. If you can't have bananas, because I know there are quite a few subscribers that follow me that can't have bananas, go ahead and swap out the bananas for mashed sweet potato. You can do applesauce, you can do pumpkin. I mean, you can even do zucchini. It's a wide variety of items that you can use if you can't have bananas. One of the things over the past year that I can greatly take away is that anytime I want to be extremely strict with my grocery budget and spend as little as possible, it means I have to spend a little bit more time in my kitchen to make things more homemade. Bread is a great way to stretch your dollar, and this French bread recipe is actually my cousin's recipe. I'll link her blog and her YouTube video down in the description box below if you haven't seen it yet. It's a really easy, I would consider it a beginner recipe for French bread. Now the recipe does call for garlic powder in the center, and I decided to amp it up and add some Italian seasoning because this was going beside a soup and sandwich, and it was so good. I just halved the recipe and made 2 small loaves, but every time I make this and I only half it, I always kick myself for not doubling it. But it's a very simple recipe. You just have to let it sit aside for a little while before baking it, but I think it's foolproof. Anyone can make it, and you're going to get 2 delicious, soft French rolls, and your family is going to love them. One tip I will give you if you are new to bread making and you're intimidated by it is just go by instincts. If something feels a little bit too sticky, it probably is, especially if you've watched a few bread recipe videos before. Bread can be really fickle depending on the humidity or the dryness of your air. I tend to find that my bread is a lot drier in the winter and then a lot stickier during some months. So I just kind of roll with it, literally. I have to add a little bit extra flour sometimes, but I know how my bread's supposed to look, and I know that comes with just learning and constantly making something, but just go by instincts. If something feels a little bit too sticky, you can always add a little extra flour, and the yeast will heat everything up in the oven and you'll still have some beautiful rolls. So like I said, I did make 2 smaller rolls and I did kind of shape them a little bit because the temperature, for whatever reason this day, was just not making my bread as perfect as I would have liked, but the bread did come out perfectly. I will say I don't cook with any oil, and this recipe does call for a couple of tablespoons of oil. I just eliminate it, I don't use it, and the bread still comes out perfect. To go along with this bread, and well, it's a soup and sandwich combo, in case I haven't already said. I don't think I have, but I am going to chop some of my veggies, get them in a pot, and in case you're wondering, I do make my own homemade veggie broth, which I'm going to share with you in an upcoming video on Friday, so stay tuned for that. And of course, I forgot to mention this, but I have a brand new ebook that's out that will be linked down in the description box below. If you purchase it by October the 1st, you actually get, as a bonus, you get 3 ebooks for 1. You're going to get my brand new 25 budget-friendly recipes. You're also going to get last year's holiday book. It's the 2020 holiday ebook. Plus, you're going to get my breakfast ebook, all 3 of them for just $5. The link is down in the description box below, and I'll also leave a comment on this video just in case you can't find it with that link as well. And like I said, it's just $5 for all 3 of those if you purchase by October 1st. And of course, as always, like I like to say, if you make any of my recipes, tag me over on Instagram and let me know what you think. I love sharing your recipe shares over on my Instagram stories. It makes me really happy to see that you guys are making the things that I enjoy as well. This was just a really simple vegetable soup, and it's something that you can make your own by using any kind of veggies you want. I went and did onions, carrots, zucchini, a 16-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes, and then I added a bunch of different seasonings just kind of based on what I thought sounded good that was in my cupboard. I did go ahead and cover the tomatoes, onions, and carrots and cook those, and then later, once the soup was almost finished, I added the zucchini because I like that still to have a little bit of texture, and I put a lid on it and kind of let it simmer, and it was perfection. Now, to finish up this soup and sandwich combo, of course I had to make my very favorite chickpea mock tuna. It's so good inside this French bread. All I did is get out my large food processor. I drained but did not rinse my chickpeas. You could definitely rinse them. If you are going to rinse them, I would add a little bit of acidity, either apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, just to give it a little bit of liquid so it kind of blends together better. But like I said, I drained but did not rinse. Threw those in my food processor with an entire jar of dill relish. If you're not super into that, you can add less or you can substitute for something else. And then about 4 tablespoons of mustard. Any mustard you have on hand or any mustard you like will work perfect for this recipe. Just pulse it up for a little bit, and then I actually stored this in the refrigerator to firm it up before having this for lunch. And I just put this with lettuce inside of one of the French rolls that I cut up. And I will say that if I had some red onion and tomato, this would even go a step further, but I'm a pretty simple person and don't mind simple foods. But you can always make this recipe and all the recipes I shared here today your own, just by swapping out the ingredients and including things that you might like a little bit better. Is my finished lunch. Like I said, I have about a third of one of the French rolls, and then I stuffed it with my chickpea mock tuna, and I have it with some soup on the side, which is absolutely delicious. I hope you try this out, and thanks for watching. I'll see you soon in my next video.